Fans notice something strange about Jimin and Jungkook's relationship. Something has shifted, and fans cannot ignore it anymore. The bond that once seemed unbreakable between Jimin and Jungkook now carries a silence that feels heavier than words. What exactly happened between them? Why are so many fans suddenly convinced that their connection is not the same as before? This question has sparked a storm of speculation, as audiences all over the world carefully dissect every move, every absence, and every moment of distance that lingers like a shadow over their relationship. It started with subtle signs, moments so small that many dismissed them as coincidence. But gradually, the patterns grew impossible to overlook. Fans noticed fewer joint appearances, fewer casual interactions, and a visible gap in the once effortless chemistry that defined their stage presence. Was this just a natural result of busy schedules? Or was something deeper unfolding behind closed doors? The silence has only amplified curiosity, and speculation has now turned into a global conversation. Observers point out that Jimin and Jungkook used to radiate a brotherly closeness, often standing side by side, laughing freely, and sharing a warmth that seemed untouchable. Yet today, the same observers describe a strange chill, a lack of the spontaneous comfort that once made them inseparable. Could this be a sign of personal growth pulling them apart? Or has an unseen tension begun to erode their bond? The absence of clear answers leaves space for endless theories, each one more dramatic than the last. The emotional weight of this shift is not lost on the fans. Social media platforms overflow with questions, doubts, and emotional pleas. What happened to Jimin and Jungkook? Why don't they act the same anymore? Such questions flood timelines, revealing not only curiosity but also genuine heartbreak. For years, their friendship symbolized stability within the chaos of fame. Yet now, uncertainty has replaced that sense of security. This transformation has left many wondering, was their closeness ever as simple as it appeared? Or have we all overlooked signs of hidden conflict? What makes the situation more alarming is the lack of direct explanation. No official narrative has been offered, no reassuring confirmation of unity. This silence leaves room for doubt, and in that doubt, suspicion thrives. Some speculate about rivalry, fueled by professional pressures and individual ambitions. Others believe it may simply be a matter of maturity, two men carving their own paths, inevitably growing apart. Yet, the fact remains. Something about their relationship feels undeniably different, and that difference cannot be ignored. The tension is magnified by the contrast between the past and the present. Not long ago, their dynamic was celebrated as one of the most genuine bonds in the industry. Every smile, every playful moment, and every supportive gesture was cherished by fans who saw them as brothers in arms. Now the stage feels emptier without their unity, and every absence is interpreted as a statement. Are we witnessing a natural evolution of their friendship, or is there a deeper divide slowly unfolding before our eyes? Each new performance, each public event, only raises more questions. When Jimin appears without Jungkook, the silence is deafening. When Jungkook stands alone, the missing presence of Jimin becomes an echo that fans cannot ignore. Every choice, whether intentional or not, is dissected with precision by an audience desperate for clues. Even the smallest gesture, or the lack of one, now carries the weight of speculation. And this is where the situation becomes most unsettling. The mystery is no longer confined to private lives. It has become part of the public narrative, shaping how people perceive not only their friendship, but also their identities as artists. The image of unity that once defined them has fractured, replaced by an uneasy uncertainty. Whether this is the result of personal boundaries, unspoken disagreements, or external pressures, fans are left only with fragments to analyze. But perhaps the most pressing question is not about what happened, but why it matters so much. Why do fans feel such a deep sense of loss at the thought of Jimin and Jungkook drifting apart? The answer lies in the emotional investment that has been built over years. Their bond represented hope, comfort, and familiarity in an unpredictable world. To see cracks appear in that bond feels like losing something personal, even though the truth remains hidden from public view. Speculation will continue, because silence is rarely enough to satisfy human curiosity. Fans will keep asking, are Jimin and Jungkook still as close as they once were? Is this distance permanent, or only temporary? And most importantly, do they still see each other as brothers, Or has their relationship evolved into something more distant, more fragile, and perhaps more real? In the end, no amount of theory can replace the truth that only Jimin and Jungkook themselves know. But one fact is undeniable. Something has changed, and fans across the globe can feel it. The question that lingers is whether this change is the natural course of life, or the quiet beginning of a fracture that will never fully heal. Until the silence is broken, the mystery will remain, pulling fans deeper into speculation, worry, and hope. So we ask you, the reader, what do you believe? Do you truly think this distance signals a hidden conflict? Or is it simply the inevitable transformation of two people growing in different directions? The answer may remain unclear, but one thing is certain: Jimin and Jungkook's relationship will never be viewed the same way again. The narrative surrounding Jimin and Jungkook has now reached a turning point where speculation collides with the need for truth. At the heart of this unfolding drama lies a crucial question. Are we witnessing a genuine fracture in their relationship? Or are we simply consuming a carefully constructed illusion designed to fuel endless discussion? This question is not a trivial one. It demands critical thought, skepticism, and a deeper understanding of how modern media operates. Audiences across the world are bombarded with clips, theories, and evidence drawn from fleeting moments. A glance not exchanged, a greeting not offered, or an absence during a performance. But should such fragmented observations truly be treated as proof of conflict? Or is it possible that these fragments have been deliberately magnified to generate sensational headlines? Is the so-called distance between Jimin and Jungkook a factual reality, or has it been exaggerated by fans and content creators who know exactly how to provoke curiosity? One must ask, who benefits from these narratives? Platforms such as TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube thrive on speculation, engagement, and viral controversy. The more dramatic the interpretation, the more attention it garners. But does attention equate to truth? Could it be that fans are unintentionally feeding a cycle of sensationalism, where every gesture is stripped of context and reimagined as part of a larger conspiracy? Or is this cycle uncovering something real that others would rather keep hidden? The seriousness of this issue lies not merely in the details of Jimin and Jungkook's personal bond, but in the broader implications of how truth is consumed in the digital era. Should we, as critical readers and viewers, allow ourselves to be swayed by selective clips and emotional captions? Or should we demand evidence grounded in reality, beyond the surface-level impressions that dominate social media feeds? To what extent are we complicit in transforming speculation into fact by giving it our attention, our shares, and our comments? Consider how easily perception can be manipulated. A single edited video, circulated thousands of times, can redefine the public's understanding of an event. A speculative tweet can spiral into a narrative that millions accept as truth. When fans declare that something feels strange between Jimin and Jungkook, are they uncovering an undeniable shift? Or are they simply responding to cues planted by algorithm-driven media designed to provoke reactions? Should we not pause and question whether we are participants in uncovering truth or victims of a performance staged for our consumption? The emotional intensity of the discourse also deserves scrutiny. Why do audiences feel so strongly about the possibility of distance between these two individuals? Is it because their bond symbolized something larger than themselves? An image of loyalty, friendship, and unity that fans desperately want to preserve? And if that image begins to fracture, is the reaction rooted in concern for the artists, or in the discomfort of losing an illusion we have grown dependent on? Are fans grieving the loss of a genuine relationship, or the collapse of an idealized fantasy they projected onto these figures? These are not easy questions, yet they are vital, because if we fail to ask them, we risk being swept away by narratives that may hold little resemblance to reality. It is crucial to recognize that much of the current discourse emerges from unverified content circulating on platforms where sensationalism often outweighs accuracy. Does the repetition of a rumor make it more truthful, or does it merely cement falsehood into public consciousness? Can we distinguish between authentic observation and manufactured drama? Or are we too eager to believe anything that aligns with our emotional expectations? There is also the question of accountability. Should fans take responsibility for the narratives they amplify? Every comment, every share, every speculation contributes to the construction of a larger story. When thousands of people insist that something feels off between Jimin and Jungkook, that insistence itself becomes part of the reality others perceive. But what if that perception is built on misinterpretation? What if the so-called strangeness is nothing more than coincidence, or a byproduct of personal growth and independence? Are we prepared to accept that possibility, even if it undermines the drama that so many find irresistible? At the same time, we cannot dismiss the emotional intelligence of fans. Many have followed Jimin and Jungkook for years, observing their patterns of interaction with remarkable precision. If such fans detect a shift, should their concerns be automatically disregarded as delusion? Or is there merit in acknowledging that their closeness to the subject allows them to see details others might overlook? Could the strange atmosphere they sense truly be a reflection of an underlying reality, even if it lacks tangible confirmation? The tension, therefore, lies in the space between perception and fact, between suspicion and evidence. It is a space filled with noise, where every detail is amplified and every silence interpreted. And in this space, truth becomes increasingly elusive. The more we search for answers, the more fragmented the reality appears. Should we then accept ambiguity as the only honest response? Or should we continue to dig, even at the risk of blurring the line between fact and fiction? Ultimately, this controversy forces us to confront our own role as consumers of media. Do we truly want the truth? Or are we addicted to the drama of uncertainty? Is it possible that the very act of questioning, asking whether Jimin and Jungkook are drifting apart, has become more important than the answer itself? Could it be that the real strange thing is not their relationship, but our relentless desire to dissect it, to assign meaning where perhaps none exists? As you reflect on these questions, consider your own stance. Do you believe that the perceived distance is a genuine fracture in their bond? Or do you suspect that it is merely a story amplified by media seeking attention? Do you trust your observations? Or do you recognize how easily perception can be shaped by repetition and suggestion? And most importantly, what responsibility do you bear as a participant in this discourse? This is not simply about Jimin and Jungkook. It is about the way we, as a global audience, interpret, amplify, and sometimes distort the realities of those in the public eye. In a digital landscape overflowing with half-truths and exaggerations, skepticism is not merely an option, it is a necessity. So we leave you with the ultimate question. When you see the supposed signs of distance, do you believe you are witnessing reality? Or are you simply watching a performance scripted by the machinery of modern media? Until the truth reveals itself, one fact remains undeniable: the conversation will not end. The mystery surrounding Jimin and Jungkook's relationship will continue to provoke speculation, ignite debate, and test the critical thinking of every fan who chooses to engage with it.